Excuse me?
This has been an exciting track in times gone by, and typically it entertains the moment the lights go out.
Turn 1's always a consideration for this race. It's certainly a difficult one to get right when surrounded by other cars, but the race isn't won or lost there. You've got to be smart, get through,
I
and
don't know what to
trouble,
do.
not you.
I guess, no. Alright, cool, great, okay. That was strange. Hi everybody, welcome to Formula 1 2018, where I think this game's losing its marbles. If it had any marbles, it has lost them. Okay, alright, well, we're in Hungary, everybody. That car just went by with no sound. I'm very concerned. I think this game's freaked out. Okay. Oh, it still thinks we're in the menu. Well, now there's just nothing. Hello? I can turn my head. Hello? What if I hit F1? No, nothing. What if I hit enter? Nothing. I think we're in Hungary. Maybe we're at the wrong track. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna restart the session? There we go. There we go. Alright, everybody, we're in Hungary. Let's go to the track. Let's go out and do a Q1 lap. Whew. Oh, man. How does a game get buggier years after it's already been out? It's quite baffling. Quite baffling. Well, it is a lovely looking day here in Hungary. One of my favorite Formula 1 tracks that I am absolutely terrible at. It's a shame because, no, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks. I love the layout. I like the old school nature of it. But I tell you what, this car does not seem to like this track, or at least it didn't seem like it in practice. I've not had as much difficulty completing practice programs as I have here. Even Monaco was easier. This is also the first race I've had to go and download a setup for the car to try and figure something out. And I'll be honest, the setup I downloaded didn't help and wasn't really that far off from where I was going with it. Like, it's not radically different than what I was using, so it seems like, at least in practice, there's some kind of fundamental disagreement in this car and this track. And I wish I could tell you what it is, but I really don't know. Because it doesn't even feel that bad. I mean, it's understeery. Like, I've been working diligently to tune out understeer, but nothing I've thrown at it's really done much besides make the back end come unhooked. But that seems like a great time, so who knows? Today is going to be a confusing day. It turns out that is not actually a great time. We've already been dropped out and there's still 10 minutes left to go. So I guess I'm going back out. I guess I'm going to put a new set of tires on it. And we're just going to hope we can actually make it out of Q1 today. Because it hadn't been looking good. Alright, let's really focus in on the lap here. Try to give you a tour of the place. Turn 1's really tricky, because you gotta brake surprisingly late and turn in surprisingly late, because the exit of the turn is so cut off. It tightens in extremely late. This downhill off-camber left, very difficult. Very fast kink right here. You gotta get some curb. On entrance or exit, one or the other. If you really want to dare to be risky, go for both. This chicane, crazy tight. It's all about just bulldozing through there. Car really wants to understeer here, using high revs in the engine. Running a little wide there. Get the front end to hook up there. We're improving. curb there. Probably could have gotten back to the gas a little sooner. Just so many different kinds of turns here at this track. I think that's what makes it interesting. It's a lot of different turns in a very small package. Alright, up to P9. That's feeling a little bit more comfortable. Not fantastic, though. Alright, P11 in Q1 is okay. Certainly lets us move forward, but it certainly seems like we gotta find some time in this car. There's not any consistency in it, which is kind of the complaints I had last week. Somewhat similar tracks, so maybe it's a continuation of that. Q2, I'm going to go into the garage, and I'm actually going to remove all of the fuel from the car. I don't usually do this. Oh, wow, there was 1 kilogram to remove. Okay, that's fine. But we need everything we can get. Did a great launch in the last turn. That's not it. That was a terrible launch in the last turn. I didn't even hit DRS because it got so sideways. Yuck. Well, I'd say we're definitely going to be making 2 runs in Q2. Wide out of turn 1, too. It just, I don't know, I feel like I have no grip. I'm used to the thing being slow in the straightaways. I'm not used to it being just so slippery. It feels like the tires aren't in the track at all. It seems like the car is pretty good in turns with high speeds. When the arrow can work, the car works. But when the arrow is not working, the car is not working. Which was a little bit of what I heard about this car from this season in real F1. Was that chassis-wise, it just wasn't there. And that's what this kind of track is showcasing. This is very much so a chassis track. Aero as well, but if the tires aren't working in the track at low speeds, you're going to be in trouble. And as of now, we're in trouble. Don't let that fast lap confuse you. Press. Oof.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:16.6.
I hadn't considered that. We currently don't actually have another set of tires to put on the car. I could put a set from Q1 on there, but we have no new tires to use right now because I'd used 2 sets in Q1, and that's going to be a problem because I think... Oh, I heard the wrong thing. I think we're sitting outside of the bubble already. Yeah, we will totally be. Well, I guess we put the best set on there and hope for the best. You know, this is actually pretty interesting, having a car that's really good at some tracks, really not so great at others. I just had a comment conversation with somebody who was saying, I really don't find it very interesting to watch a series where somebody just wins every race, and that they skipped around through the videos to make sure it wasn't a race, that it was just, you know, like an easy win. I don't really think we've had that situation for the entirety of our F1 career playthrough, but certainly this series has been very much so not that. Oh, it just totally lost the nose there.
2 laps of fuel remaining.
We're still green somehow, which is actually horrifying for that first lap attempt then. Now we're in the red. The harder I push this car, the worse it responds. It seems like these used tires just don't have enough in them. Yikes! Oh my god. Oh, jeez. I didn't even make the braking point because, like, fight or flight kicked in there. I thought we were in that wall, and I thought we were losing tires and done because it was close. Alright. Slap a new set on, I suppose.
So, we need you to move up into the top 10. We won't progress to the shootout.
I'm trying, Jeff. I'm trying. That's probably the best exit I had out of there. Still a bit wandery, but it was good. Or it was better. Pinpoint precise here. I didn't want to hook up out of there. A little bit less scary this time. I just feel like I'm wheeling the car around. It's not wanting to do what I'm making it do. Oh, cargo. Okay, we're in P7 now, but that might not get through. A lot of people are about to go do another run. These tires are going to be toasted by the race. We'd have to short pit. By the skin of our teeth, we do make it to Q3, but a great situation this is not. And what's really frustrating me is Alonso sitting up there third, a full second faster than us. I wish I could see his setup. I want to know your secrets.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need
kidding
you to be
me.
patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
When it rains, it pours. Skip that. And I think that means we only get one run. Most likely. So I'll have to try and make the most of it here. Although we only have one set of tires, so it doesn't matter at all, really. That we only get one run. Although it's such a short track, there's probably enough time for two runs. I could have gone out on a used set and set a delta time. Too late now. Let's try to really zero in on this one, though. Good out of there. Didn't get my DRS open quite in time, but DRS really not doing too much there. Held it much prettier through there. I don't know if prettier is quicker, but it was prettier. That was actually really, again, just prettier through there. This kind of feels like one of those tracks where it's the ugly lap that's quickest, because you gotta will the car around so much. That cost me quite a bit. That all started with getting out on the Teflon, which is the greenhouse return. 15-2. Looks like we'll be 10th, everybody. It looks like we'll be 10th. I shouldn't have gotten out of Q2. Honestly, it was a mistake making it to Q3.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Alonso, Grosjean, Esteban Ocon, and Magnussen. Leclerc, Hülkenberg, Sainz, and Red, Perez, Sirotkin, Valtteri Bottas, and Ricciardo, Ericsson, Gasly, Max Verstappen, and Lance Stroll. Hartley and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid.
What is going on with Hamilton
Now
this season?
It's time to head down to the track.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
Quite a bit above your expectations, that it was well below mine. 4 laps on these ultras and then 2 softs for the rest. That is good to me. Let's see what we can do. Alonso's up there in 3rd. That's kind of bothering me. That might be hard to match. All right. Alright. This track's known for AI badness. So I'm gonna be real careful here on lap 1. The game's known for that kind of badness. And I was doing really well. Didn't have hardly any hang-ups in practice and qualifying. For as bad as it was in Germany. I still have a Renault next to me. Got it. I thought I could get next to him, but I gotta remember.
Nice start.
Gotta remember these tires have extra laps on them too. They are not gonna be too happy. I've not been able to run with other cars this whole weekend. Nobody in practice was running anywhere near me, and my qualifying runs are pretty much solo, so I don't really know what their pace is, if they have any weak spots, and how bad I am on this front straightaway.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Pretty bad. Luckily, there's a lot more to this track than just straightaways. Couldn't do it on the outside there. Luckily, my, I think, additional downforce helped us out there. Boy, this seems to be the part of the track where we're... Whoa, buddy! Wow! Well, I was going to say, that's where we were really making up time. And then we made a small mess in our seat. Gotta be careful right there. It's our close call in qualifying. Hard track to make passes, hard track to make progress at.
Race officials have enabled DRS.
They're going at it again up there.
Available.
Man, you would think with them being side by side like that, they would lose time, but they really didn't. It jumped out tight on me there in dirty air. That's close to a cutting penalty there. I gotta be very careful. It's crazy to think this is a car that a couple weeks ago was winning races, and then here these last couple races struggling, just absolutely struggling with it. I hope we're going to be pitting next lap. So I think it's time.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
I'll try.
Try to stay with him. You might make a mistake.
Well,
Still
I'm
regain the position.
still with him. Jeez, but the power. I can't. All I can do is sigh at this point. Getting mad does no good. Can't hold the car to these lines. And I went for the high downforce setup. I didn't run low aero to try and have straightaway speed.
Okay, remember to pit this lap.
These were older tires, so maybe it'll get better after the stop. Looks like we're pitting early because of the tire situation. That should have us well behind the field. We should have an open track for a good lap or two. And let's hope they're a good lap or two. Let's go ahead and put it up into rich mix right out of pit road.
Go now.
Yeah, we got open track for days right now, so hopefully I can run a decent
Stay
pace.
clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
I don't know why I got DRS there. I guess I was in the right spot. Headed to pit road. Open track to go as fast as I can, but also open track to make as many mistakes as I can. Like that. It's hard to jump out of the pits on cold tires and get just immediately up to pace. That's what makes good F1 drivers great F1 drivers. Well, gosh, it seems like I'm so far behind. And I probably am that far behind Fernando. It also feels like we got a good leapfrog on quite a few cars there. Pitting that early. We'll see where we shake out. If people haven't pit yet, feels like this lap is a lap we'd get a really good undercut if I don't screw it up. Hard on the engine, but I gotta get the thing to rotate. I feel like it's tracks like this where the Haas really spoiled me. That thing's chassis just works so good. That tracks like this, it made you feel like a superhero. When really you were just a pleb. And then by the end it had so much engine power too, that on the big tracks where the chassis didn't, play as big a factor, it was still really good. Okay, it was definitely a good pit sequence. That worked out in our favor. And only have 1 or 2 more laps on these tires shouldn't be a factor at all. We should be able to push just as hard as they can. And now that the field's a little bit more spread out, we might be able to make a move on somebody. But I'm not even super focused on that. Alonso's going to score good points for us today. And the Force Indias aren't doing too great, so holding steady would be wise as well. You always want more. More, more, more.
Place is 8.8 seconds.
It's honestly not as much as I thought he was about to say there. a bit of a problem that Leclerc is this close to Magnussen. It means that I can't really form any kind of move on Leclerc, who missed that turn, and I very, very nearly ran into him. That was spooky. See, we're collectively off the pace this lap. But unless he can close in on Magnussen with DRS, that problem's not going to go away. I know the power of Magnussen's car. It's not going to close in on him real fast. Car's actually feeling a lot better right now. I think I've gotten a better grasp of the car thanks to being able to be around some other cars. Curious if Magnussen's going to run down Alonso up there. You would think he would. I think in reality I would be in danger here if my car overheating. Yikes. Leclerc was slower if I just rolled the center amazingly. But I was completely off the throttle and I rolled right into him. Feels like such a stalemate right now. Magnussen can't catch Alonso, Leclerc can't catch Magnussen, and I can't catch anybody.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
I guess for the moment it does make sense, since we're not really getting anywhere. As long as I can keep with Leclerc. Save up energy and fuel for a high energy pass later.
Okay, the gap behind is 5.2 seconds.
Well, that is good for us. At least there's no pressure there. So we can kind of just let this race unfold. It does feel like Magnussen is closing in. Actually, we're all closing in collectively. It's kind of that effect I'm always trying to encourage people to do in iRacing, but they never want to do it. And that is to work together to try and catch a pack ahead, rather than fighting over a position you didn't want anyway.
They seem to have an issue.
Ooh, that's good for us in points. Force India having some issues.
Green flag.
It seems like Leclerc's falling back here. I wonder if he's going to fall out of DRS range. Look like he has yet. Oh, he has.
The gap to That's 11.4 seconds.
You get double DRS here, and he conceded the position, actually. Very kind of him. Well, let's see if we can catch Magnussen. Actually have a lot of fuel on board, so I don't see any reason not to be running enrich. And where was this car in qualifying? It really just feels like a completely different animal, and I think it is just the degree that I'm pushing it. I think I was just constantly overdriving the car in qualifying trim.
Gap behind is 1.6
And it
seconds.
was not responding to that at all. I think we're quite going to get there this lap. Looks like Ocon had to pit for a new wing or something. Hopefully he doesn't get involved with this, because he'll have new tires on. Gotta stay close to him in Sector 3. So that we can have a lunge on the front straightaway as we are catching Alonso. That might be a problem for us. If we catch Alonso, Magnussen's going to get DRS, and I'll never get around him then. In fact, this may be my only attempt. Nope, he got it. Frick. That is terrible news for us. You saw how that worked with Leclerc. It wasn't until he dropped out of DRS range that we ever had any chance of getting around.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
I flirted with the idea there. Get out of the grass, you fool. It's me. I'm the fool. See how much they got me messed up through that whole section? I'm lucky to have escaped with minimal losses.
Okay, we're not seeing any issues with tyre wear right now. You should have good grip for a while yet.
Race is starting to develop up there. I wouldn't complain about Alonso going for third.
The gap to the car behind is 2.8 seconds.
Ah, I'm working on that pass. Trying to make something develop there. Tell you what I got developing is I got him running on the defense. He's gonna get himself out of Alonso's DRS range if he keeps doing it. Not quite yet. Lost the back end a little there. I really don't like Ocon being so close. Like I said, with newer tires, but off the lap. Yes! Yes! I have been engineering that pass for laps. I felt like there was an opportunity there, but I knew I had to get up beside him and stay beside him to the apex for it to work. And it did. It worked. Oh, I didn't want that menu. Get out of here, Jeff. I don't know what's gonna come of this. Not much, probably. He's a little too close to Grosjean.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Not a problem, Jeff. That was almost a reverse engineering there. It almost worked the opposite way. Alonso seems a little slidey, a little uncomfortable.
This is your final lap of the race.
He's got draft, so I'm not going to do any gaining on him there. I got to try and stay as close as I can through this sector, and get close to him in the turn that we've been doing work at.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap
Oh, cheeky bastard. Well, that's it. 5th it is. He just drove it in there, parked it. Like he was dropping off kids at the school. That's too bad. It was all or nothing. We had to get beside him if we were going to have a chance. And I tried to, but like I said, he just drove it in, and then slammed on the brakes to make the apex. Ah well, that was a hard-fought race right there.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
Thanks.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them. So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's
Boy, Ferrari's really come to life in our playthrough here.
It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Moving on to the driver of the day then, Anthony Davidson. Who would you
that is
go
close.
for?
Well, I have to give it to Lewis Hamilton. You know, it was just the kind of drive you'd expect from a multiple world champion.
On to the constructors then. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
Alright, well, as we remain here in 6th place, maybe Perez is someone we could try to get in the points. My main goal is to get Force India. I want McLaren to be 3rd. That's what I'd really like to do. And this was a good race to do that, 4th and 5th. Not too shabby. Not too shabby with Force India having a really rough day. Interesting race that was. Started out very rough, like the weekend started out rough. But after the race kind of settled into a groove, I kind of settled into a groove, and I don't know, just felt like things started to work. I can't even really explain what the difference was, like where the time was made up. Yeah, the race pace was way more consistent. Honestly, the most fun of that race was the pass on Magnussen, because I really was just trying to figure out how I could make the turn that I was good in, like I was getting a much better run through, but wasn't a passing opportunity, how I could turn that into a pass. And to make it work there in the end. Whoo, that was sideways. To make it work was very satisfying. Quite pleased with that. Well, we got a darn good race out of this track. I really do love it. I would be super disappointed to ever see this one leave the F1 calendar. It is a classic. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.